Okay, today we'll be looking at basic string indexing and slicing in Python. So strings in Python are zero indexed, which means the first character of the string corresponds with an index of 0. So let's take a look at this word computer. So underneath this word are all the indices of the characters. So the first character of the word C corresponds with an index of 0. So let's take a look at this in code. We'll do word equals computer, and then we want to print the first value of the string computer. So we'll do word at 0. So let's run this. We get C, which is the first character in the string. So let's try an index of 4. We get U. Perfect. So another way we can index into strings is using negative values, right? So as you can see, the positive indices start at 0 from the left and move up from left to right. The negative indices actually start at -1 at the end of the string and go down to the left, all right? So let's say we want to get the first character, C, again. This time, instead of 0, we can actually use -8. So let's take a look at that. -8. We get C. So to get T, we can do -3. T. So that was string indexing. So now let's take a look at string slicing. So slicing strings basically means taking a subsection of the string. So let's take a look at OMPU. So in order to get this subsection of the string, we would need to look at the indices and specify a range. So in our case, it would go from 1 to 4. So what we can do in Python is specify the start of your range, colon, and then the end of your range, 4. But the problem is, in Python, the start of your range, in our case 1, is inclusive, and the end of your range, in our case 4, is exclusive. So basically what that means is the start of your range, right, will include itself in the subsection, in the substring. So we'll start with O, right, but then 4, the end of our range, is exclusive. So we actually won't get the U, right? So if we were to print this substring from 1 to 4, we wouldn't actually get OMPU, we would just get OMP. Let's take a look. See, we get OMP. So in order to get what we want, OMPU, we have to go from 1 to 5. So let's try that. OMPU, right? Let's try another one. We can try UTER, right? So we would go from 4, inclusive, to we don't have something after 7, right? Because in order to get the R, we would need like 8, right? But we only have up until the 7th index. So what we can do instead is actually not specify an ending value at all. So what we can actually do is do word from 4 to basically nothing. And if we print this, we get what we want, UTER. So this will start at the index 4, include itself, and then go all the way until the end of the string, right? So if we were to do 2 to the end of the string, we would get MPUTER, which is exactly this. So the same applies for the beginning of a string. So let's say we want COMP. We can either do 0 to 4, try that, 0 to 4, or we can just not specify the start of our range at all, and we get the same result. So we can also do all of this, but with negative indices, right? So let's say I want OMPU again. Now instead of 1 to 5, I can do -7 to -3. So -7 to -3, and I get OMPU. So now if I want UTER again, instead of 4, we can start with -4 and not specify the end of our range, and we get UTER. So another thing we can do is actually mix positive and negative indices. So if we want OMPU again, right, instead of 1 to 5 or -7 to -3, we can actually do 1 to -3. Let's try that. 1 to -3. OMPU, right? So basically, all of these indices refer to the same characters, right? 0 and -8, 1 and -7, 2 and -6. You can mix and match them however you like. I hope that helped.